The first step in making great guitar melodies is to create a bass line. We're going to create a simple bass line right now. A great way to come up with good melody bass lines and good melody rhythms is to simply use those of a song that you already like. So find a song that you already like and then copy the rhythm, and you'll generally end up with very, very good results. Let's quickly change this to A minor. So, and you got to be conscious of how far your guitar plugin goes. Ample guitar goes down to this E here. Okay, so let's listen back to this bass line. That sounds pretty good. So we've got our bass line now. That's the first step. Next, we want to create a top melody. So I'm going to show you a few examples of a top melody. The first example I'm going to do is we are going to copy this. So we're going to hold Shift, left click, and then we're going to hold Control and push that up a whole octave. Then we're going to basically just find notes. So we can arpeggiate notes, which is like the easiest way. So like this. But that's quite boring and quite simple. So we're gonna find something else. So we're gonna So we've got our top melody. Next thing we'll do is we'll just copy this top melody over and we'll see how this sounds. So if we just copy it over all the way, what do we get? So bring that over there, and that over there, so that if they want to hit at the same time, they can. And now let's listen back to it. So we're gonna need to bring this back in order to let that hit. So let's deal with that there, clean that up. And that's already a beautiful melody, right? So I'm going to copy this so that I can have it for later. But we're going to go back in here and we're going to create two more melodies just so you can really understand how easy it is to create these top melodies and really solidify this information in your mind. But before we get into the next two examples, if you want your guitar beats half mixed before you even get to the mixing stage, you can grab my guitar trap beat mixing template. Links down below, or go to jcarteray.com/guitar trap FL. That template comes with all these settings, all the source that I use to mix my own guitar trap beats. It's going to save you a bunch of time and have your beats sounding half mixed before you even start mixing, which is super important because you're going to know what your beat is gonna kind of sound like before you even get to that point where you need to mix it. So you don't need to go back and then change this and then change that because you added an EQ or what have you. So that's gonna help you out a lot. Link down below. So we've got this melody. Which sounds cool. I actually really like that. That's probably the melody that I'm going to finish up with. But if we get rid of this, we can find some other things. So as I said before, we can just do a arpeggiated melody. So if we go from this A and just skip a note and skip a note, this is the chord. So in order to arpeggiate this chord, we'll just go from A to C to E. And we can add another note if we want, or we can come back down to this C, which is usually a good shout. Like whenever you have a chance to come back to a note, it usually works out pretty well. So let's see what this sounds like. So that's this second melody. And as I said, if we wanted to just keep it super simple and just arpeggiate, we could go A, C, E, and then add a G on top. But this is going to be very mediocre. I wouldn't do this. This is what I used to do back in the day when I didn't really know what I was doing. But these days I wouldn't just do a simple arpeggiated melody like this. So let's listen back. Okay, we need to get rid of that so it's not hitting at the same time. It sounds okay, actually. So that's 3 melodies, super easy. Remember, it's the bass line that's really driving the track and changing stuff up. The top melody, you want to keep that the same. Let's actually get rid of that. That wasn't supposed to be there. You want to keep it the same because that's what makes it catchy. What I used to do was, let's just quickly get rid of this. Well, let's copy it first because I've just got it right. What I used to do is I would go, you know, A. Let's just start on the A because I usually would have done this. So I'd go A, C, E, and then let's go C, E, G, and then G would be G, B, F, or G, B, D. My bad. And this is actually, I would come down there. But the issue with this is because the notes change so much, it makes it harder for it to sound catchy. So if you play this back. My bad. Everything's supposed to like start there. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Why does that sound like it's on the... Which sounds okay, yeah, but it doesn't sound as catchy as this. This sounds like, when I finish it, it could be a hit. The other one just sounds like, okay, I'm just making any beat, basically. Like, I'm not really trying to make it the best that it can be. So, remember, super important. Keep the top melody simple. Make sure it's the same for each bar, each bass note. You're not just arpeggiating each one, although you can. And that is a trick that you can use now and then if you want to. But if you keep it the same thing all the way through, it's going to sound better and going to be more catchy. So now the next thing you want to do is you need to copy it over because we want to make this an 8-bar loop. It's really 4 bars because we're in double time, but let's say it's an 8-bar loop. Let's just focus on, you know, these numbers up here. At this part, we want to create some variation that ties the melody back up. So let's listen back to this and see where we can create some variation. Usually I'd just create some variation at the end here, but let's listen. So I want dun dun dun. So it's dun 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 dun. So let's see how we find that. Actually, let me use the keyboard. That'll be way easier. Actually sounds pretty good. So we'll just bring this down. So we're going right back up and then that'll just go right back round. So let's listen to this. Oh, that can work. That kind of works better. And then we could also like have a little change up here and do what I was doing before. So we'll do the let's listen back. Of course, we'd have to get rid of that. Oh my god, that is beautiful. So usually what I think I've been doing recently is, okay, by the way, I just selected all, pressed Alt R to randomize and randomize the velocities. I shouldn't have done bipolar. Let's actually reset. And that just makes sure that all the velocities are the same. And then I'm going to hold Alt and scroll down so that the volume levels comes down a little bit as well. But usually I just keep it the same all this way and then change up the last part. So you can do that, or you can change up each of the end and have your, like, in the last 4 bars, basically in the last 4th bar, 4th beat, and change that up so you have variation twice, or just have it at the very end and have variation once. But if you listen back, this is what we got with like the velocity changing and stuff like that. I'll play it one more time because it like glitched out. My CPU is moving mad today. And then let me give you a little bit extra sauce that I didn't even plan to put in this video, but this is what I'd usually do, yeah? I'd bring this up a whole octave. So you do that, and I'll put it into the key that I want, which is usually G sharp minor. I don't know what's going on with my CPU today, but let's just pretend that it's all good. Then I'll add RC20. Where you at? Where you at, boy? RC20. And the trick I'm about to show you now is going to make your guitar sound even better, even if you don't have like guitar rig or anything like that. So we're going to bring this distort way down, have a little bit of wobble, but bring the noise way down, get some space, and bring the magnetic way down. So this is what we got. Okay, we can't even play this back because I don't know why, but let's not even try. So what I'm going to do now is bounce this down to audio so we can play it back and we can hear it. If this doesn't crash, this might if this crashes, then I'm just going to have to say goodbye to this, because this has been a lot of effort to try and make everything work for this one video. There's been restarting and so much stuff for no good reason. Okay, cool. Please just work. Don't know what's going on with my computer today, but it's like it can't handle anything. Cool. So here we have the audio. Oh, let's make sure we turn off RC20. We don't want that going on twice. And this is what it sounds like. Testing, yeah. Of course we don't want that, so we pitch it all the way down, 12 cents, normalize that, generic bleeding, bring the volume down a little bit, and let's hear what it sounds like now. And that can give it a nice analog type feel, tape type feel, and just make it sound a little bit more rustic, a little bit more spicy. You don't have to do that. You could just use the original type vibes if you just bring this back down, as long as you don't go too low with the bass, which is what I usually do. So I usually have to do this. But if you don't go too low with the bass, then you can choose between which sound you prefer. So if you go back to the pattern, we can give you an example of both. So this is the MIDI without being pitched down. Which I like those higher tones, to be fair. And then this is the song version. Which seems way more in the middle of the frequency spectrum, which is usually where I like to push everything, and add some bass to that, add some 808s. Oh, that's gonna sound wild. So you can pick between which sound you like better, but I just wanted to give you that extra bit of information so you have that choice. Now let me quickly recap the steps. First step is to create the bass line. Very, very easy. I usually like to just do 3 notes, but you can do 4 notes if you like. No, it just sounds better with the 3 notes. But you can, do whatever bass line you like that sounds good to you. Then create a top melody. Make sure it's like repeating for most of it. At least 3 bars it should be repeating. And then you can have like a change up. And then repeat it again. Then you can have a change up if you like. Or you can repeat it all the way through and have a change up right at the end. This makes it very catchy and sounds way better. That's basically it. The last bit was some extra. You can pitch it up, bounce it down, pitch it down, and have a nice little rustic type, analog type sound. Remember my guitar trap beat mixing template, link down below. If you want to learn how to make your own trap beats at home using my easy 9-step trap beat making formula, that link's down below as well in my absolutely free music production course, which won't be free and available forever. So join right now while you still can, link in the description. And if you got any questions or any other tutorials you want me to make next, let me know in the comment section down below.